of the climax. So we're alive. And there's a delay, but yeah, let's go ahead and do this again for real. This is Love on the Rocks by Neil Diamond. Love on the rocks ain't no surprise. Just pour me a drink and I'll tell you some lies. Got nothing to lose, so you just sing the blues all the time. Gave you my heart, gave you my soul. You left me alone here with nothing to hold. Yesterday's gone. Now all I want is a smile. First they say they want you, feel how they really need you, and suddenly you find you're out there walking in a storm. And when they know they have you, then they really have you. Nothing you can do or say, you've got to leave, just get away. We all know the song. You need what you need. You can say what you want. Not much you can do when the feeling is gone. Maybe blue skies above, but it's cool when your love's on the rocks. First they say they want you, feel how they really need you, and suddenly you find you're out there walking in a storm. And when they know they have you, then they really have you. Nothing you can do or say, you've got to leave, just get away. We all know the song. Love on the rocks ain't no big surprise. Just pour me a drink and I'll tell you my lies. Yesterday's gone. Now all I want is a smile. Oh, you're gonna block my live stream over some Carafun karaoke. Get out of here. Whatever. Oh my goodness. How is that copyrighted? Get out of here. From Zoom karaoke. I wonder how this one sounds. Let's see how this one sounds. That doesn't sound good. Anyways, this is Duke. And this is, I guess, Virus Chronicles Live. Let's see if this warning shows up here still for the copyrighted audio and video. Refresh the screen. Yeah, it's still there. Whatever. No big deal. All right. Well, I just wanted to talk about Charlie Watts and a few other things real quick here. Charlie Watts. News about Charlie Watts. Well, he died. Okay? The drummer for Rolling Stones is now dead. And now what? Now what? I mean, do we want to discuss how the Rolling Stones was used to socially engineer an entire generation? I mean, let's just take a look real quick. Rolling Stones satanic, right? What is this? Their Satanic Majesty's request. I mean, really? I don't even know this. Their Satanic Majesty's Request is a studio album by the English rock band Rolling Stones, released in 1967 by Decca Records and London Records in the UK. Or London Records in the US. The band experimented with psychedelic sound on Satanic Majesties. Few people realize or care to realize that the Rolling Stones are of the devil. Rock and roll music is absolutely saturated with Satanism and the occult. The song of Sympathy for the Devil. Song Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones is the official anthem of the Church of Satan. Really? Really? Now look, I'm not here trying to bring bad news to you. That's not my goal. I'm trying to reveal the other side of the reality. I'm trying to pull back that thin veneer curtain that's going to, I mean, the thin veneer that's totally deceiving so many people. In it, Lucifer speaks in the first person and asks sympathy for all who meet him. Lead singer Mick Jagger claims that Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan and the author of the Satanic Bible, helped inspire their music. Their album titled Their Satanic Majesty's Request leaves no doubt about their allegiance. The goat of Mendes is the god of witches. Mendes is another spelling of Mendes, a city of ancient Egypt where fertility worship, Baal worship, was practiced. Masons admit that readily that Baphomet is the pagan fertility god, and more importantly, that Freemasonry is the fertility cult religion. At any rate, this mockery of Jesus is a satanic symbol and figures prominently in Satan worship. Now, let us examine real quickly, I'm just going to do a little side note. Okay. I'm not going to talk any more about Charlie Watts. Charlie Watts was probably a Satanist. At a minimum, it's very likely he was a Freemason. At a minimum. Even if secretly. Not all Freemasons have to be out in the open as Freemasons. They don't have to do it. So let's, wait, let me just search Charlie Watts titles. So Charlie Watts earned the title of one of the world's best dressed men. I mean, just Charlie Watts. Let's try honors. Let's see if like he was knighted by the Queen or some shit like that. Honors. Awards. Let's see what he got. Awards. Charlie Watts awards. Wow, look at this. 2018, 2006, 1998, 1995, 1979, all the way down. Grammy, 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 Grammy. I don't see that he got knighted by the Queen. But going back to the tie into Freemasonry, going back into that.
To all our brethren to receive the most worshipful, the Grand Master.
The big one eye, the black and white checkerboard floor. All Freemasons. All engaging in Lucifer worship.
Self-evident, Brother Franklin, all men are created equal.
Indeed, Brother Washington. All Freemasons meet as equals, and we have an opportunity to create a nation in the very essence of Masonic morality. It would be wonderfully symbolic, don't you think?
You'll be wanting to put the all-seeing eye on our banknotes next.
And what you have to realize in all this is that the symbolism that they use goes right on top of the symbolism used in the Church of Satan. And then there's a cross-section, like a Venn diagram of the music that the Rolling Stones produce, okay, with Charlie Watts, the drummer, that intersects in the middle of all that. So you have the Satanists here, you have Rolling Stones here, you have Freemasonry here, and in the center where they meet is the Lucifer worship, is the push-pull game that they pull called the Overton window of society. And the Freemasons, the Satanists, the musicians that are Freemasons and Satanists, they all engage in this push-pull game.
Next.
Problem, reaction, solution, the Hegelian dialectic.
You think I'm taking it a bit far?
Please don't ask me questions like that, Brother Franklin. You know I cannot tell a lie.
Oh, come on, Brother Washington. Everybody lies occasionally, surely, especially politicians.
Not me. Not even so much as an alternative fact.
But we must all be aware of fake news.
The people must be free to think what they like as well. We can have no thought police in our new society. The foundation stone of our new nation built on all those principles that we hold dear.
The plans for our new capital city already have a very Masonic feel to them, yeah.
Candidate for initiation into the order. I'm giving him a little introduction into some of our mysteries. These two gentlemen are founding an entire nation built on our principles.
We have great promises for our new nation. You know, I wonder if other presidents after me will also be Freemasons.
Many will be. And Freemasonry will become embedded in the American culture. And the eye will appear on the banknotes.
Oh, God.
These principles will be honored with a gift from your French brethren. A gift that will be a welcoming beacon to the poor and oppressed.
This is the statue we are giving you.
It's a bit small, isn't it?
Oh, this is a maquette. The real thing is bigger. Much, much bigger. I call her Liberty Enlightening the World.
Catchy.
America will produce a great many great Americans from many different walks of life and many different fields, and many will be Masons. Sportsmen!
Do you see? Just pay attention to this list. They're going to go through a huge list and look at the famous faces that were all Freemasons. And the reason, let me tell you, the reason that Freemasonry dominates the face of the earth, along with other interlocking social networks, and it is an occult social network, although they are operating out in the open. Okay? The reason they dominate the face of the earth is because they're always working to lift each other up above other people. And if we had a local community culture where we worked with each other to lift each other up, these kind of spread around occult social networks would not be able to dominate the world as they do. But they do so at the expense of those that are not organized in local communities.
Actors, writers, soldiers, filmmakers, businessmen, inventors, astronauts.
What on earth is an astronaut?
No, they're not.
I don't follow.
Well, they're not on Earth, they're in space. In fact, Brother Buzz Aldrin was the second man to walk upon the surface of the moon.
That's the best thing I've heard this evening.
What, that a Mason walked on the moon?
Man on the moon. Amazing. But don't forget the musicians. Do not forget the musicians.
Known as that rule of three again. The 3 degrees.
The number 3, baby, right there.
Freemasonry has burned as a blazing fire through the last 3 centuries.
Longer than that.
As permanent master of these 3 lodges, I now call on my deputy masters.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, on behalf of the Brethren of Royal Somerset House.
Most Worshipful Grand Master,
our ceremonies and forever remind us of our incomparable heritage, and the birth of organised Freemasonry,
stressing the deep and sincere loyalty and affection felt by the Brethren of the United Grand Lodge of England for their Grand Master.
Oh, the Grand Master.
We leave the Royal Albert Hall even more proud of our ancient institution.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I humbly ask you to complete the initiation of this worthy candidate for Freemasonry.
I hereby read the text of a letter sent today to Buckingham Palace. May it please your Majesty, we, the representatives of over 200,000 Freemasons under the United Grand Lodge of England, most respectfully express our continuing loyalty to your Majesty's throne and person in this, the 66th year of your long and distinguished reign, of His Royal Highness the Duke of Kent, as our much loved and greatly respected Grand Master. We humbly thank God for preserving our order and fervently pray His blessings on your Majesty.
Which God?
So that our royal
Is it the
version of
little
your
God
Majesty
or the one that made everything?
Given at the Royal Albert Hall this 31st day of October, Anno Domini 2017. Her Majesty has been pleased to reply in the following terms. The Queen has asked me to thank you for your kind letter of loyal greetings on behalf of the representatives of the Freemasons under the United Grand Lodge of England, which are being celebrated on the 31st of October at the Royal Albert Hall. Her Majesty appreciated your thoughtfulness in writing as you did.
I had the pleasure of meeting 136 Grand Masters visiting from overseas at Freemasons Hall yesterday. Today, though, we are a meeting of more than 4,000, gathered from all around the world, from our own constitution and beyond. When the global Masonic family comes together to celebrate our past and to renew our own pride and confidence in and enthusiasm for Freemasonry.
And I'm not going to play the rest of this, but what you have to recognize, it's like Russian dolls. It's lies within lies within lies within lies. So even in him speaking to the other insiders within Freemasonry, right? And all the people there, they generally know that they're screwing over everybody else in the world that's not a part of their club. For the most part, they're screwing everybody else. And even within this, he mentions in our global family. Even then, he has to reinforce the false reality. I imagine that many of these Freemason stooges here in the audience, they have no idea that the earth is not a spinning ball. That they have to accept, they have to be deceived themselves to actually follow this, this, what's the word I'm looking for? This oath to secrecy that they have. So they even have to buy into lies themselves to be a part of this. So just to kind of tie some of this together. NASA number coding.
We always
tongue.
indulge in a few pagan rites to appease the EVA gods. These little ceremonies, very, very important to ensure mission success if you do them right. These little ceremonies, very, very important to ensure mission success if you do them right. These little ceremonies, very, very important to ensure mission success if you do them right.
It's such a fucking joke. Look at that. From the Satanic Bible. There you go. In recognition of members. And it's Freemasonry too. I bet these are all Freemasons or member of witches cults. 100%. No doubt. No doubt. Serpent eating its own tail. Forked tongue. Not quite sure what this one's doing here. Oh, wow. 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 Let's go back to the initial part of this video. Oh, wow. Yeah, man. You can't put anything past these people. They literally print money out of thin air. And people just take it like it has actual fucking value. trying to find the video that has the satanic coding here. All right, this is the number coding.
Hey folks, this is Odin, and today I want to make a video and expose some truth here about NASA. First off, just taking a quick look at their logo, you can see this red ribbon in the middle. Let's take a closer look at what this stands for, shall we? Upon examining it, it seems that it looks like a forked tongue, sort of like this snake's tongue right here. We know what this symbol is associated with. Here is also another symbol type with the fork here, and it's also a symbol within a symbol. Here you have one here also. The symbol is called a chevron. It's also used in the Pontiac symbol. It's just that the Pontiac symbol is turned the other way. It's used quite a bit by different companies and different corporations. Here's the chevron symbol, and there it is again, plain to see. And the military has several of them for different ranks. This is the Army's badges. And now we're going to get into the snake. You can see here, it's the snake that's eating itself. And this is the official NASA page. The symbol itself is nicknamed Meatball. Funny little nickname there. But as we see, snake eating itself, and NASA has it here. Watch this short video as it will explain this symbol a little more.
Yeah, manogram. No question. All right, so that's not exactly the information I was going for. What's up, SBO? Yeah, it does sound kind of like Cleveland from Family Guy. But yeah, there's serious number coding going on here. It's just I did not find an easy video. Yeah. Anyhow. But as I explained earlier in the video, Charlie Watts' death doesn't mean anything. In fact, he was part of a group that was tied directly into the Church of Satan, and it's very likely that these guys were Freemasons or were honorary Masons, where they don't even have to necessarily be a part of the rituals. They just are given a title of nobility, essentially, in the group. So we have to keep all these things in mind when we talk about these people. Now, I want to go on to the meme stocks, and the fact that I was seriously contemplating jumping into stock market, just to try and diversify and leverage any of the inflation that's taking place, and for example, in the stock market. And at this point, I'm realizing that, again, with the flick of a switch, all that could go away, and I don't actually have anything to hold on to. There's nothing for me there. I have to sell the stock before it dies, before it goes below my investment price, for me to actually have any kind of a return. These are things I had to remind myself of. And anyways, the whole GME meme stock thing, it's insane. It's ridiculous. We look at the 5-year chart. Come on, almost near zero. And then here we go. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's ridiculous. I've been saying recently all the time that all the markets are rigged. All rigged. GameStop is not worth $210 a share. If we look at their financials, right? $5.1 billion for fiscal year 2021, a decrease of 40.45% compared to fiscal year 2018. Net income fell 720% to negative $215 million. This is the profit margin right here. This line represents negative 11.5%. They lost money. They've been losing money for the last 3 years. Why is their stock at $200+? The whole financial system is a house of cards, because the currency, right, has no intrinsic value. It simply has no intrinsic value. You can't get value from something that has no intrinsic value unless people delusionally take it as something of value. And we're all suffering from it. I mean, just take a look at AMC. Right? Let's go for the 5-year. Down, 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 down. Boom! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Now let's look at AMC financials. Wow. So they're in the negative, right? Profit margin is negative 10%. Then they barely, in 2018, they barely had any profit margin. Then in 2019, negative 2+% profit margin, which means they lost money. And profit margin is negative 369%. Net income, negative $4.6 billion. Why is their stock worth $46? $44? Why? I'm just asking that. Why? There's no tie to reality at all for this. It is a gambling casino. Now, I will say that the cryptocurrency market is not much different now, especially with institutional money coming in, with the organization of pump and dump groups through places like Discord and whatnot that all coordinate pumping and then dumping a token in order to grift money from people who see something going up in value, thinking it's going up in value, and then what do? They jump in, and then it takes a nosedive. I experienced that with about $100 that I had put in, and I was, buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. And, I mean, now the tokens that I have in this particular situation, they're worth about a third of my initial investment of $100. So I've taken my own hit on this. I've learned my lesson. So I'm not going to be playing the stock market thing. I'm just not going to do it. What I am going to do is I'm going to take an investment that I had in information. I'm going to get that money back. And then I'm going to go buy silver coin. And I'm going to start investing in privacy tokens. That's what I'm going to do. In fact, why don't we just pull those up real quick. Privacy tokens. So if we look here on CoinMarketCap, Monero is the biggest privacy token. Dash, Decred, Zcash. And they all have their strengths and weaknesses when it comes to concealing the transaction origin and destination. And but this is where the real utilization and the real purpose of cryptocurrency really comes into play. The blockchain technology, in my view, is what we need to use in terms of the openness of the record. We need to use that to bind down what we call government. We need to use that to make them transparent, while we use privacy tokens. We force what we call the government and the people that do work for the government, which is really work for the collective of the people, the collective services of the people. We need to make that open and transparent. We need to have that to where, you try and steal, right, a bunch of crypto and you move it on that blockchain. Well, it's going to be found out to be where it is. And you're not going to be able to go anywhere with it because everybody's going to block that fucking wallet. So you're going to have no choice but to give it back. And, with the privacy tokens, there is a definite level of security because of the way the transactions are hidden. So, anyways, that's my little rant about the whole meme stock thing. It's utterly ridiculous. And I'm happy for the people that gambled, right? Because it is essentially gambling. I'm happy for the people that gambled and made out and became, meme stock millionaires, just like meme coin millionaires. But that accumulation of wealth in numbers on the computer screen doesn't actually immediately translate into actual real productive value in the society. It simply doesn't. It's perceived value. Its functionality is severely limited to your ability to sell that stuff and get, basically transfer the wealth from one form to another. So I'm just not going to play the stock thing. I know there's potential in again striking it with the casino style, but I'm not going to do it. 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 I mean, I don't even care what Motley Fool says. This is a house of cards that is going to collapse. Now, I also recognize too that it's possible that this thing could get strung along for a while in the process that, people end up dying over time in large numbers in a very quick succession. And we'll get to that very quickly too. So I'm done with talking about the meme stocks. Now let's go on to Kathy Hochul. So, of course, she's a lawyer, right? Snake in the grass. And she's going to be the 57th governor of New York when Andrew Cuomo resigns. And this is my question. This is my question to everybody. What is she going to do different? What is she going to do? Is she going to roll back income taxes? Is she going to roll back property taxes? Is she going to free up cottage industry and let people do business with each other without the fear of the state coming down on them? Is she going to let regular people actually own the land? Let's look at New York tax burden. New York has the highest tax burden in the country. Duh. The property tax burden and individual income taxes ranks first in total sales tax, total sales and excise tax at 22nd. Since the tax code is so complicated and has rules based on individual household characteristics, it's hard for the average person to tell how they will be impacted. And here, for example, if the state has tax and other incentives or favorable rules for a particular type of industry, such as high-tech, economic growth might be greater because more tech firms may locate or expand in the state. Well, yeah, they're picking and choosing the winners. I'm really for, each of these little geographic regions that we call states fostering their own industry. So we don't need to have just one chip manufacturer, or a couple chip manufacturers to cover the whole nation that we call America, the corporate state. I'm in Wisconsin. We could have a chip manufacturer in Wisconsin. Wisconsin could have the capacity of producing its own silicon. This is vitally important. It's called cottage industry. Producing within our own neighborhood, within our own area, the things that we need, the things that we rely on. And I know that's not exactly related to Kathy Hochul, but all I'm saying is, what is she going to do different? So let's see Kathy Hochul agenda. Oh, look at this. On her first day in New York, Governor Kathy Hochul announces plan to mandate masks and vaccinations in schools. Isn't that beautiful? Thank you, Kathy Hochul. Because that's what we need. And that's a perfect segue into the final topic here. Perfect segue. Beautiful. That's what we need, Kathy. Yes, we need forced vaxes in the schools. Yes, we do. Of course. I'm also immediately directing the Department of Health to institute universal masking for anyone entering our schools. Vaxing against the CV-19 will be required for all school personnel, she said. Those who do not wish to be immunized will have the option to undergo weekly testing for the virus, and the state will make tests more widely available in the coming weeks. Which test are we talking about, Kathy? And what virus are you talking about? Because from what I understand, it's never been isolated. So what are you testing for? New Yorkers can expect new vax requirements, says Kathy Hochul. Well, she doesn't sound much different than Andrew Cuomo, does she? In fact, I think she's going to be more controlled. I think it's going to be worse under Kathy Hochul. I think people are going to be wishing for Andrew Cuomo's leadership after they find out how much of a devil-worshipping witch she is. They'll be praying for Andrew Cuomo to come back. It's just disgusting. These are all controlled people. All controlled. I mean, whether it's controlled through ignorance and compartmentalization, or they're super evil and they're in on the wickedness. All right. So let's go ahead and go to the final topic here.
What would you call this time we're in right now?
It's war. It's that simple. It's war. And people are dying.
It is war.
And there isn't a single person in the world, I don't think, who this has impacted in some way. So I've had family members who have taken the jabs. I'm fully aware. This has impacted everybody. You know, they're not fully awake. They don't know what's going on. Cognitive dissonance is very strong. I fully understand that. But fortunately, I woke up a long time ago. And when you've been through the ringer in the K-12 system, and then you leave the K-12 system, and I mean, I was through the ringer as a whistleblower. So, I mean, I went all the way through state departments of education and all the way back down. I saw how they all operate. I watched the entire thing. And again, I'm not calling myself a victim. I'm just saying that in K-12 education, there are a lot of whistleblowers out there. And
sure, you experienced how the bureaucracy destroys young minds and how the fraud works. You're saying you've been through the process.
That's right. And they, as you would expect, state departments of education are remarkably corrupt. They stamp papers, they move things forward. School teachers can lawyer up all they want. It doesn't help, typically speaking anyway. Unions claim to stand up for them. They tend not to. It's just a giant con game. And what we're watching not just is a global war here, in my opinion, is that we're watching the systematic destruction of K-12 education and higher education. And frankly, it cannot be saved because we already see them lying about variants, and we see them lying and saying it's the unjabbed that are getting people sick. That's absurd. And the immune system, human immune system, does not operate.
I just have to point out that he said globalist, global, and it's just, the deception runs so deep. Russian dolls, lies within lies within lies, and even a guy as seemingly as smart as this man right here still has it in his fucking mind that the world is a spinning ball with a skin-thin atmosphere up against an infinite vacuum. Are you fucking kidding me? The model of physics that we live under does not support such a phenomena. It doesn't. But let's get back to this.
That way. If you pump your body with poison, you will get sick. That's it. And the irony is that the K-12 environment, the same environment that taught us as minors to not believe peer pressure, to not take drugs, and to not believe peer pressure and take drugs from strangers, is the same environment now that is pushing this full bore down the throats of countless people, adults, children, and now they're all commingling in these environments as if nothing bad is going to happen. Again, I've said this on my podcast. You don't need a Ouija board, tea leaves, and chicken bones to figure this out. When cold and flu season rolls around, as even Dr. Zelenko said, you're talking about a ticking time bomb when it comes to a person's immune system. Our ancestors have passed on. They can see clearly what's going on. They didn't create us to just sit around and do nothing. And given the fact that this is a war, It's the responsibility of parents to shield their children from the bullets and the gunfire.
This is a civilization level design collapse in their own words. This is, you're right, we're in the middle of a giant war. All that matters is winning this war right now.
That's right. That's the way that I see it, because again, there are too many people sending their own children into the slaughterhouse, so to speak. And as it's been said on your show, I'm sure a million times, by the time you smell the blood of the sheep in front of you, it's too late.
All right,
Dr. Sean M. Brooks, PhD, went super viral.
I think that's enough. That's enough of this particular. I just wanted you to get a taste of it. I'm gonna try and post some links to some of these videos that I played, so you know, in the description. I'll edit that here at the end of the video. But what I want to get to, what I want to sort of sandwich in with that, is Andrew Kaufman explains what I think makes the most sense about what we're dealing with here. And, okay.
They sequenced this entire genome, and they did this in a way where they had basically fragments of genetic material from whatever would be in someone's lungs who was sick, which would be a lot of different things. And there turns out that there's like 56 million individual little fragments of RNA, and they sequence those, and we don't know where any of those individual fragments are from because we didn't get it from a virus. Right. And we don't even know that there is a virus because it wasn't even shown. So basically, they put these fragments into a computer, and the computer combines them into over 3 million possible genomes. And they pick one of those, tweak it to make it look like a bat coronavirus, which probably was a predetermined outcome. And then they put that and they say, this is the index genome. OK, so then what they do is they put out a set of instructions, like a recipe, of how anyone around the world can now do this experiment, except what they're going to do is, in the end, they're going to compare it to that index sequence, which is totally contrived by a computer. But since they're never going to get an exact match, right, because they're not actually testing a real thing, right? They're just combining all these random sequences together. So every time they repeat the experiment by this recipe around the world, and there's been something like, I think someone said 40,000 of these that have been done, not one matches exactly. They all are a little bit off. And this is what happens when you try to repeat an experiment that's invalid, is that you don't get the same results. You know, you can see that there's just a major effort everywhere to control people's thinking on this and make sure that they don't question what's going on. And, you know, I really compare this to a cult-like situation because, you know, the television, for example, and I would say, you know, the number one way to get people out of this state would be to eradicate the television or their access to the television, because if you look back at the patents, they actually use a special technology of the rhythm of how they refresh the images to put you in a suggestive brain state, an alpha wave state, which is, you know, good for learning, but it's also good for hypnosis and programming, right, which they call it television programming. So this is a very insidious but very strong campaign to get you to believe these false notions about what's going on. And much of it is about sensationalizing the fear and danger aspect, because that's what will manipulate you to comply and to be afraid to question what's going on.
Wow. Wow. I don't need to play anymore.
We had a bunch of big medical doctors.
I don't need to play anymore. That's it right there. Those two clips together explain the whole thing, the essence of this deception. All right, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and wind this down here.
just had the most amazing family vacation. Let's go! Oh my God!
This is America by Neil Diamond. This is actually a really good version. I like this. Well, they're coming with the forced needles. They're coming with the stickers. Better say no. Otherwise, America's done. Just say no. No, I don't like that. Far, we've been traveling far without a home, but not without a star. Only want to be free. We huddle close, hang on to a dream. On the boats and on the planes, they're coming to America, never looking back again. They're coming to America. Oh, don't it seem so far away? Oh, we're traveling like today, in the eye of the storm, in the eye of the storm. Home to a new and shiny place. Make our bed and we'll say our grace. Freedom's light burning warm. Freedom's light burning warm. Everywhere around the world, they're coming to America. Every time that flag's unfurled, they're coming to America. Got a dream to take them there. They're coming to America. Had a dream they come to share. They're coming to America. They're coming to America. They're coming to America. They're coming to America. They're coming to America today. 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 My country, 'tis of thee. Today. Sweet land of liberty. Today. Of thee I sing. Of thee I sing today. 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 That was all right. That was an all right mix of that song. But I'm actually going to finish the video. I just thought about this. Think what you want about Rebel News and their political leanings. Actually, or Avi Yamini, the Israeli Jew Australian. I mean, it's very interesting. Looks very Arab in skin color. But where am I?
Warning.
This is what I'm gonna close it out. This is what patriotism looks like
reporting
to me.
for the first time in Brisbane,
This is how
Australia.
it should feel.
On the weekend, thousands marched for their freedom in Brisbane CBD, but unfortunately, the mainstream media painted this event as something evil. We're here to tell you the other side of the story. Watch the report, but we need your support, so please go to brisbanereporters.com.
Far out, that's it. 10 more of those. We are one! We are one! We are one! We are one!
They described it on Channel 9 last time. They described the rally in general as kids, dogs and confusion.
I can't believe how many kids are here today. I mean, I feel like I'm a warrior. I'm in my mid-20s, but you've literally got kids here starting at age 2 fighting for their freedom along with their brothers, sisters, friends and families. So I really have to give it to them more than me.
Well, last time when me and my dad came, it was packed, but not this packed. Like, it's filling up all the streets, and it's actually really good because we should be treated equally, and we shouldn't have to listen to the government telling us what to do and telling us to have a lockdown and
Embracing Australian culture.
Freedom of choice over everything.
We are one! We are united! Never to be divided! Yahweh!
Maybe the best thing, listen, maybe the best thing that could happen to America is for the government to come and physically try to take the guns. Maybe that's what it will take. For all the people to realize, like, wow, we're all being attacked. All of us. There's nothing separating us at this point. We're all being attacked. But you know what? I mean, Australia is a different place. It really is.
The march, sorry to break it to you, isn't going to win the war, okay? Information like this, to protect the people, is going to make a big difference.
So why are you guys all here today?
To protect our future.
Yeah.
For freedom and our kids and our choices. Yeah.
So what do you guys think of all the lockdowns?
I like our human rights, but it's just destroying our economy. It's breaking down small businesses, only businesses that are, say, government funded or whatever.
Clearly it's not working for a lot of people. A lot of businesses and livelihoods are getting affected.
Hopefully, you know, we're waking up everybody around us. I mean, stopping traffic and go guys, power to Australia.
We've got drums, we've got music, we've got chants. I feel like I'm at a concert right now, not a rally for freedom.
There's definitely a divide between the state and the people.
Avi, how's it going, bro? Come on, man. We are one! We are one! We are one!
We're not fools. We are grandmothers. We are everyday people. This is what you cause people to do just to live. Just to live, for goodness sake.
Freedom to Australia! We've had enough of this!
TV, other news stations just don't show what really happens, so it's great that you guys are up here.
I believe we've shut down the whole city. We've got police on bikes, in vans. We've literally got people in bars filming us on their mobile
And they're
phones.
just
I think we're
walking
going
in the
to
street.
fill up every platform tonight.
There's an emotion. Just so move. This is Rebel News.
I was working in a clothes shop last year and now I'm reporting the news. This is surreal.
Momentum's on our side.
Got some decent men here up here.
Something that just shows that we're all human, we're all the same, and it's really beautiful to see so many different kinds of people here. Of all, I'm amazed. I'm impressed.
Avi is more Aussie than 55
When you've got children fighting for their rights, I mean, I get emotional. I can't hide that on camera, so.
those who have the guts or have the power and no fear to stand up, they're the people that need to be here today. Plenty of people with their masks on, even though you can see how many people are walking here without their masks on.
I did it in America last year, so yeah, they don't wear nothing over there.
There is a future for us, for humanity, and it's better than anything we can imagine, and it's bigger than this.
So how did I go on my first ever report? I had a lot of fun giving you the other side of the story.
All right, but let me just juxtapose that with this. Okay, that's the beautiful side. That's the patriotism. This is the tyranny of the state.
Thousands of protests here behind me, and you can see now the riot police have formed to confront the protesters, and hundreds of police, not socially distanced on that side either, but they have got once again their rubber bullets and pepper spray. We've seen today, unlike any protest before in Melbourne, they've started to use this tool. The rubber bullets against their own citizens.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Fucking dogs!
So they're firing tear gas now on the crowd, at our legs. This is the state of freedom in Melbourne, Australia. We're reporting on a protest. The only danger you face is from police.
Yeah, 100%.
As you can see behind me, thousands of protesters now have descended on Melbourne's CBD. Moments ago, the police indiscriminately spraying the crowd with pepper spray. Riot squad coming out and chasing, hunting, arresting protesters they can catch. But it hasn't stopped the group from marching on for their freedom. Remember, this is the 6th lockdown this city has seen. It was supposed to be a 7-day snap lockdown. 3 weeks into it with no end in sight, these people say they are not going to stop. And if this is anything to go by, I take their word for it. Avi Mini for Rebel News in Melbourne, Australia.
Look at these pigs. Look at the scum. Just scum.
What you've just witnessed is the crowd of thousands overwhelming police. Did he break a camera?
Listen, all it would take is for them, for the whole crowd to just agree, we're just going to attack these motherfuckers. We're just going to attack them. We're not going to be peaceful about this anymore. You're not going to deny us our ability to live and prosper anymore. And do you know how quickly this would turn around? And I know people are saying, oh, don't be violent, don't be violent. You don't understand. They're going to use violence against you until you use violence back. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. A crowd of 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 people. 100,000 people could take back on an entire city through coordinated effort. I mean, now it's rubber bullets. It's indiscriminate pepper spraying. What's next? What's next? I mean, they're already getting thousands of dollars in fines just for being outside. Like, are you fucking kidding me? It's only violence is going to stop the violence. And if there's one thing that humans never ever forget, it's how to be violent. Even if you have to get pistol whipped, like I had to be pistol whipped, for me to come to my senses and be like, wow, these motherfuckers are using violence against me. It's not just a gun pointed at my head. And that's when I took action. Look at the women.
So what's happened right now is the crowd broke through the police line. And what police did was
Horses.
seclude and block half the group. There are thousands on that side, thousands on this side, and now police have brought out the riot squad in full riot gear. We haven't seen this since that day in September of 2020 where I was violently arrested for doing this, doing my job.
You have to open your eyes though. Hold them open.
What happens when the cure is more devastating than the disease? We get protests like this. And as far as the police go, next time they strike for a pay rise and they ask for the sympathy of the public, you know what? They might just not get it. Have a look at him. Fine.
Can we get a photo? On my face, right on my face. I wasn't even running. I was just standing.
They really want to quash this protest today. It has been an absolute embarrassment for the state, for the police, that once again, when they promised us thousands were not going to be able to march on these streets, well...
Did you see that? They even have highwaymen in Australia. Let's go back here.
That once again, when they promised us thousands were not...
Boom! It's a worldwide program. Highway Patrol in Australia. Come on, man. Come on. Be with me on this one, okay? They even got the black and white checkerboard for Freemasonry.
Not going to be able to march on these streets. Well,
why do you need the black and white checkerboard on the hats, on the cars? Why? What is the point? I would agree. SBO says the women in Australia are more heroic and patriotic than the men in America. I would 100% agree with that. Most men are cowardly and are waiting for something to happen. They're waiting. I don't know what the fuck they're waiting for. This is going to come here very soon, but it's going to be more vicious.
they have, they will, they did, and they'll continue to do so, they say, until these lockdowns end. So you got pepper sprayed?
I did. I was trying to get through the...
And what's happened there?
And I fell over and grazed my knees, but I'm a tough woman.
They've done all that for health.
Yeah.
That's for health.
Isn't it? Absolutely. Yes, for our health. Yeah. That's the priority here, isn't it? Our bloody health.
And then the police spray peppering people for speaking their truth? What does that say? That says the truth shouldn't be spoken.
Why are you here for the first time?
Because the last time I was too scared that I'd get arrested, and this time I thought, fuck them, I don't care.
So they've just deployed pepper spray, which is in the air. A police line ready to once again engage the protest.
Covered in pepper spray foam. What the fuck?
On the firing. The crowd is now starting to disperse. You can see everywhere the pepper spray, and they're firing rubber bullets on the crowd. That's rubber bullets.
Fucking rubber bullets in a beanball fucking bag from about a metre away.
Oh, no, that's all right, I understand. Sure, can I go around?
There's bottles getting thrown, you go all the way around, just not behind the line.
Clearly Victorians have had enough, and today is certainly a sign of this escalating. The government thinks that they can lock down Melbourne forever, but if you think that the people are just going to take it today, it's obvious they're unwilling. In the face of fire from police, in the face of pepper spray, the numbers only seem to be growing. You're not worried about getting done for that flare?
All I know, the flares just signal a sign of distress, and that's what the Australian people are experiencing, distress.
I'm a playwright. I am not the enemy. I am an Australian. There are monuments in every town, in every city, to people who fought and died for our freedoms. It is not ours to give away. It is not theirs to give away. They were down there using BB guns on us. This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. It's a disgrace. This is not the next generation's fight. This is our fight.
Hundreds of police in full riot gear, again, chasing thousands of protesters around the city. When it comes to a stop, they deploy tear gas, as you saw, even on me, pepper spray. The objective is unknown, besides, I guess...
I'm not going to play the rest of this video. Do you see? Do you see where this is going to go? If you take this entire hour and 15 minutes or so, clip out the music, you know, maybe it's an hour or so. When you add it together, when you piece all this together, it becomes very clear what we're going to face. Now, every place is different. Australia is different from America. America is more divided by a magnitude compared to Australia. Australia is a little island nation, relatively speaking. Their population is much smaller. But this is what patriotism looks like. And Australians will find out, because they'll have no choice. They'll have no choice but to use violence once again to reclaim the freedom. And it's possible with enough violence, they'll actually get the freedom to own firearms once again. But they're gonna need a new social contract. They're gonna need a new set of rules that comes from the people, as opposed to coming from a small handful of Freemasons and landowners and billionaires and you know what I'm talking about. It's going to have to come from the people. All right. I hope you enjoyed all that. If you missed the first part, go back on the restream, on the archive, and watch the rest of it. In the beginning, I would say it's well worth watching. All right, I'm out of here. This is Duke. First part, go back on the restream, on the archive, and watch the rest of it. In the beginning, I would say it's well worth watching. All right, I'm out of here. This is Duke.